जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे। भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता। जम्मू कश्मीर हिमाचल पंजाब हरियाणा दिल्ली यूपी उत्तराखंड बिहार गुजरात मध्य द्राविड़ आंध्र तेलंगाना कर्नाटक केरला वंगा विंध हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा कृष्णा सरस्वती ब्रह्मपुत्रा। गाहे तब जय गाथा गाहे तब जय गाथा। भारत सर्वधर्म नागरिक भाग्य विधाता। जब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे। जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे। भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे। जय भारत जय संविधान वंदे मातरम। सुजलम सुफलम मलया शीतलम सास्या श्यामलम मातरम वंदे मातरम। जय भारत माता भारत संविधान। Yes, gentlemen, this is again Suraj, back to you. Suraj, a person known to you now. This is my certificate. This is Suraj Singh calling from Faridabad, NCR, Bharat, to have brief talk regarding current affairs of Bharat. We people have solemnly resolved, we people having solemnly resolved to constitute our nation into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic to secure to its people justice, equality and liberty, justice, socio-economic and political, equality of opportunity and status, and liberty to think, to have thought, to write, have expression, or worship, and all this would lead to freedom, dignity, integrity of nation, and this is, you can say, an oath which is undertaken by every citizen of Bharat, India, according to this constitution, which was declared on 26th, which was declared to be implemented fully on 26 January 1950 and designed in 1945. We all are bound with this law, this undertaking, declaration of this nation by every citizen of this nation, and those who do not believe in this, they cannot be called Bharat India citizen. This is a great contemplation which was not understood very well till now, but now time has come that people have known it to some extent, at least about 90% people have understood that there is a constitution. This was not even understood in last many decades. Well, you can say when your eyes are open, you can see world. So at least your eyes have opened that you are now able to understand that we have a constitution which we missed in past decades. But just knowing Constitution is not sufficient. We have to keep in our minds those sacrifices which our forefathers laid their lives, means those sacrifices which led them to live for good from this country, from this earth. They laid their lives for us, for each citizen of this country. They laid their lives that we have a good time in future. We live comfortably with pride on this motherland, indebted to this motherland, this nation, this area, and we move further to have standing in the whole world. It was not simple freedom that we got from British. It's not only physical freedom. We had to get spiritual freedom, mental freedom, freedom to advance and freedom to do, achieve whatever we want. But we have to think, we have to review, have we done that? This is a big question. Though we are 130 crore people, just being 130 crore people, or having a constitution, or having a parliament, or having judiciary, or having executive, or having all other related institutions, do not mean anything if we are not smart enough to use them and use this country for our advancement. There's nothing as such if we do not do that. Are we living like animals, or we have to live like proud citizens? That we have to decide. We know that we have different structures in our economy, we have different structures of education, we have different structures of profession, but that is something else. That is secondary. First, our mindset should be clear. Do we consider ourselves slaves still, or we consider ourselves liberated? That's the point. What you think yourself, you have to decide. Everything cannot be changed, we know. Everything cannot be altered, we know. But we have to move in certain set directions. Directions that can lead us to affirmation, to positive decision. Direction that can help us decide what is destination, what is our objective, what's our goal. That must be made true. We cannot be directed by someone all time. As people of this country, people I mean to say citizens of this country, we have to decide for ourselves and by ourselves. We have constitution, that is right. We respect this constitution, honor this, and we can do whatever is required to protect this constitution. We know that those people, once who get power, their mindset change all time. It's not only here, it's all over the world. Once you come to power, you think that you are something. You have become powerful. Yes, that's right. A person who gets power, that person thinks that he has become everything. But that person forgets that power is never absolute, that power is never original. No one has original power in this world. If we are people of 130 crore people, that is original power of this land, of constitution. And we always delegate our power to few people to help us lead. But those people forget about that. They start thinking that they have come to power originally. That is where problem lies. There is no problem in this country, Bharat. If you think that way, we can solve problems. Question is, who has to think that way? If all people just think of living, eating, drinking, and sleeping, there is no one to think of. There should always be a thinker. And in every society, thinkers are always in minority. 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, not more than that. And same thing happens here also. We have 130 crore people. But how many are thinkers? How many are doers? How many are politicians? And how many are others? If you take politicians account, I think there is not hardly 0.01% politician left here. All are crooks. Simply speaking, they are crooks. They only think for themselves. All politicians in our country, irrespective of party line, As citizen of this country, I can say that currently we don't have true politicians. We don't have true nationals who can think for nation in political capacity. They only think for themselves. They don't for people of this country. Very important thing is we have to convert ourselves to politicians, means real politicians, according to constitution, not according to themselves. If we can serve our country, that's best. But there is a fear, people are not interested in politics, and that is where politics fails and constitution wins. Constitution of our country is very different. Unfortunately, we can we can pass physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, science, economy, all that we can pass very easily. But we cannot understand constitution even if we are judges or we are lawyers. We have certain limitations. We confine ourselves to within those limitations. There are hundreds and thousands of laws in this country. Every state has its own laws. Union government has its own laws and laws and laws and laws. Well, that's not a problem. Without laws, country cannot move. But question is how these laws will be applied to people of this country. For them, these laws have been enacted. But people do not know laws. Problem lies here. If you talk to someone who say, oh, there are so many laws in this country and there is no law actually. There's no implementation of law, there's no law, we have no laws. That's right, I agree with that. State of laws as such. Public has been kept distant from understanding of laws. Laws are understood only by those, and that's also limited who are students of laws or professionals in law. If you go to police, police makes it so this law I know. If you go to advocates, I know law. If you go to judges, they know every law. Unfortunately, those for whom these laws are meant, they do not know laws. And that is the point we have to check in. You say, I don't have time to know all this, I'm busy, I'm studying, I'm going to job, I don't know, how can I do this? No, I don't do that. Yes, that's right, you can say that. But question is, problem lies where when you are trapped in law. Trapping yourself in law is very easy. But to resolve to come out of that trap is really very difficult. And it's unfortunate that even after 72 years of freedom, our judiciary moves like, it doesn't move actually. It just, slides slowly, 1 millimeter, then 1 millimeter. Our judiciary is lowest proficient in the world. Our learned judiciary, institution of judiciary, so prideful judiciary is the slowest moving body in this world. And same applies to lawyers, advocates. This is judiciary, inefficient, most inefficient. We can say doesn't exist. You may say, virtually speaking, our judiciary does not exist at this moment. There's no judiciary, to be very frank. Maybe lower, maybe higher, maybe super. Judiciary is absent, has been absent, virtually. And regarding our other institution, that is legislature, you can imagine what is our legislature. In our powerful legislature of Lok Sabha, we have 45% legislators, lawmakers who are having criminal background. Don't you think it's a matter of concern if in Bharat Lok Sabha, which is real lawmaking body, real legislative business body, if that body has got 43 to 45% criminal background member of parliaments, what do you think your fate shall be? Can you expect good work to be conducted, to be done by those having criminal backgrounds MPs to an extent of 233 or 545? If you expect them to help you, you are in black world, you are in dark world, you do not understand yourself. Why should we have those MPs? My question is to me and to you is, why do you keep them for us, those criminal background MPs? After all, what is the problem? What is our problem that we accept such people? We have to raise this question to ourselves. Why we fail to raise this question? Why we digest those people? Why we are forced to keep these type of characters to rule us? Legislative body is a ruler. Only government is not ruler. Judiciary is not ruler. Legislative body is also ruler. They are making laws for us. They are taking decisions for us. They take it usually. And we are accepting their decisions, unfortunately. Our bloods are so cool. We accept such people, we elect such people, and I don't understand what mind we have. Are we country of really fools? We can elect criminals, and that too up to an extent of 45% to sit in our august house of Lok Sabha. And people are just moving very, very commonly. No problem, no problem. We can afford 45% criminal background member of parliament, and I should say, then there is no rule in this country. Then constitution has been tarnished and put on fire. If we can accept that. And same applies to other house. And we go down to executive that has to execute every policy. You don't know how many criminals are there. How many ministers are criminals and how many other officers are criminals? Who knows? So how this triangular institutional management, that is judiciary, legislature, and executive, one corner is full of criminals. Other corner is for those who are appointed by criminals, judiciary and executive, So do we really stabilize ourselves? Can never. This country is standing on foundationless column. We are standing on a column or pillar, you may say, that is going to sink very soon. That is going to subside, and collapse is expected. Collapse of our structure of institutions shall certainly happen. And we will watch that. Same thing as your house is on fire and you're watching and playing with organ or playing with some drums and enjoying fire of your house. You're not trying to extinguish that fire or suppress or combat that fire. You're enjoying that fire. Oh, my house is on fire. I am dancing. Rather than extinguish using water or something else to suppress that fire, I dance. My house is on fire. So my nation is on fire. Everything is on fire. Every section of this nation is fire. We don't want to do anything. These people, only 545 in one house and 245 in another house. Only these 800 persons, 800 people have enslaved us, and we have allowed them to enslave us. What a pity. What stupid people we are. What mental people we are. I don't understand. Are we really mindset people, or are we really free from clutches of British regime? I think no. Physically that regime is gone, but mentally that regime still exists. One person who comes to power once doesn't want to leave that seat. I don't know why. What interest does that person has? That person thinks it is his mother's seat, it is his father's seat, and he will not do that. That person thinks a property of his own. That person doesn't understand it's a public property. This is constitutional property. It's limited time, and if you cannot perform, you will be kicked out. That person forgets that. That person doesn't understand meaning of kicking out, and people are so lazy that they don't know how to use their legs to kick a person out, unfortunately. And that person knows weakness of people. We are a weak society, indeed, very weak society. We have no strength of our own, and even though those who have a strength, they don't want to use it. Why? I don't know. After all, what's our problem? Can we ever think of? Why don't you want to do something? Why are we just dependent on these people? And why are we just dependent on certain political parties? And why are we dependent upon certain faces to rule this country when people are required to rule this country? There are so many questions. Why don't we concern about economical state? Why don't we concern about employment state? Why don't we serious about education institutional state? Why are we serious about our industrialization status? Why not serious about uplifting of all social sections? Why not thinking about those who have never been housed? Why not thinking about those poor who don't have food? There are so many issues. So many issues are there. In rather comparing with other countries, why don't you compare within ourselves? What was purpose of freedom? And what is purpose of country? We have to look into every point. After all, this is our wealth. Just chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Vande Mataram do not mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. You can chant whole day. Question is solution. How to reach solution? How to become serious? Remember, entertainment is one part of life, but entertainment looks fine only when you come out of seriousness. Otherwise, entertainment got no meaning, it becomes itself liability. If you whole day watch a film or video or something just for entertainment, you will feel bored. But once you are tired and you need some fit of entertainment, you enjoy it, you will find entertainment and happiness after tiredness or you're fatty or you have worked a lot. Otherwise, that becomes still a work. So seriousness is very important to grab in. And if you're not serious, you're not reach end of some activity. That is also important. And you'll be serious only when you think, when you have a concern. You have to decide what you have to do. You have to understand problem. You have to then understand the root of problem. And then to think how to find solution. And once you think to find solution, you will certainly move on that. And that is responsibility of citizens of this country. I am not holding these leaders responsible because they are never responsible. History says they have never been responsible. They have been responsible only to let them survive in those positions, and that is not objective of public of this country. Actually, now our country is starting rising, starting awakening, coming out of sleep. We have started coming out of sleep, long sleep. We have slept for a period of 7 decades. Whoever party was in power, I do not take that seriously because parties are parties. They are industries of politics. They are industries of governance. They are not having any seriousness for resolving problems, which problems are linked to public of this country. And that's why you say we people of this country. We people means we citizens of this country. We have to find ourselves to justice, to equality, to liberty. That is where security is given by Constitution. It is clearly secure these properties, these attributes to you. And how can you can get justice to every citizen of this country? How can have liberty and how can you have opportunity for everything? That is very important. How many percent of this we have achieved? If you consider social justice, I think there's a big gap between those who are poor, 70-80% people, and those who are 10%, 5% people. There's a big gap. That is not permissible under socialism. Socialism does not accept that. Socialism says that you have to understand society and proportionally you have to get power of this country or wealth of this country to this. You cannot say that 1% or 90% wealth and other percent should have only 5% wealth. That socialism doesn't accept. So our socialism in fact does not exist. There is some person who doesn't food and there's someone who is enjoying life every day. Where is socialism? What that person is doing or enjoying life? What is contribution of that person to society? If a person spends crores on maintenance, what is that person's contribution except doing business or industries? Abusing human resources of this country, abusing wealth of this country, other than abusing bank power of this country, what that person's contribution is? That question comes into mind. And if you see, where is your, you can say, secularism, so-called secularism? If our rulers, our lawmakers starts differentiating between the religions and taking into considerations exclusion and inclusion of certain religion, then secularism is defeated. Our secularism has been defeated by those who are in seats. And who are they to defeat this? Who allowed them this? We have to think. Somebody has allowed them to name religions on statute books. What authority they have got this from following this? From there, from where those people got this power to include or exclude religions on statutes? From where that power came? There is no source that grants that power. If you see our constitution, there is not even a single word in the constitution that names religion, particular religion. There is no place in our constitution that names leader. There is no place in our constitution that names political entity. There is no place in our constitution that speaks of how to elect. This means election procedure has been left to society, how they chart out. We have to think in very simple way, very structured way. We cannot blame to some known or unknown political leader, because there is no political leader power in our constitution. My concern these days is how people know about constitution, just chanting constitution, Vande Mataram, Bharat Maa Ki Jai, got no meaning at all until we know what is Bharat, what is constitution, and what is Bharat Mata. Just like you are a person in your home, member of your family, you know about your family, you know about concept of your family, how your people think, how your brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, they think, how your relatives think, and how they act and react in life. That way, this nation is a family of 130 crore people, and everybody should have a concern. We have to raise that concern. We have to upgrade that concern. We have to analyze that concern. Does it really exist? Or we are just living to have food and sleep? Do we want to move advance, or do we want to forward? Or we don't want forward? Yes, everybody cannot be serious. I understand that. Everybody cannot be serious, but all cannot be non-serious. That's also not acceptable. When you study, you are serious, you can study. If you all time jumping, dancing and singing, you cannot study. If I say, oh, I am enjoying my life in this country, I have no problem, then you are not a person of this country. Country can never be problem free. No country is problem free in the world. Even so-called very powerful country, America, has problems. England has problems. Gulf has problems. Far East have problems. Europe has problems. Africa has problems. Middle East have problems. There is no place in this world where no problems do exist. America has problems. Venezuela has problems. South Africa has problems. Whole Africa has problems. Libya has problems. Iraq has problems. Lebanon has problems. Gulf has problems. Some political problems, some seats problem, some economic problems, somewhere employment problems, somewhere educational problems. World is full of problems. So we cannot say that we are having very specific problem. We are in some kinds of problem. Our problems are mixed. And for solution of those problems, we elect our political representatives, our lawmaking representatives, our executive representatives, and those representatives elect our judicial officers and president, all that. That is procedure. This means ultimately responsibility is directed back to each citizen. Means somewhere we are wrong. Somewhere we stand at fault that we are unable to elect our right people. Means management fails, election management fails actually. Every citizen is given the right of franchise or suffrage, adult suffrage, and according to Article 81 of our Constitution. If you go and read that article, you will understand many. I have posted copy of text of that article on this video. text, not only that article, other articles as well, and also preambles, etc. We have to at least essence. We should understand essence of that. If you cannot understand text word by word, necessity is that we should know what we are. We should know who is who. We should know what our responsibility is. This election which we are enjoying every day, every 5 years, we enjoy every 5 years or every whatever frequency, we cannot enjoy it actually. It's not a game of enjoy. It's not cricket or football. It's no film. It's no game of cards. It's serious work. It's work that must be taken, that must be considered very, very seriously. And we should not submit ourselves to certain political figures. That is where we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Despite we are educated people, we do not understand our responsibility. We move to get something which is not ours, and whatever is ours, we ignore that. We should remember that our constitution empowers every citizen to rule this country according to status of sovereign and republic. Sovereign and republic are interrelated. Many times I've explained, and between these two ends are socialism, democratic status, and your secular status. These three are fields: socialism, secularism, and democracy. These three are powers which are dependent on sovereign and republic status. Our sovereign and republic powers are fixed. These are fixed in a sense, these are not operable. These are permanent properties, permanent attributes, and we have decided to hold us sovereign. We are our own destiny makers. We are our future leaders. Actually, we are leaders. We are republic. We are king of this country. We are responsible for this country. Our lawmaking bodies, our judicial bodies, our executive bodies are not responsible. We are responsible for Bharat, India. Bharat, India I am calling, remember, note it. I am not calling Hindustan because we are not Hindustan. And I condemn all those who call this country Hindustan, whoever one could be. If one cannot understand name of its country, that person is stupid. I simply say that person does not care for institution. That person does not care for respect of its mother. My mother is Bharat, and I have to think that way. If I call Hindustan, I am Mughal or I am Yahudi. Simple. I am not Yahudi and I am not Mughal. I am Bharat Vasi, and that is my pride. A subject in Bharat, a citizen in Bharat. To rule Bharat, to move Bharat, to handle Bharat are parts of my responsibility as an individual entity citizen. And if I cannot do that, I am responsible for that. I am liable for that. I cannot hold others responsible for this. It's myself who commits a mistake, commits an error. So dear friends, citizens, think that you are Bharatvasi. Do not think otherwise. If you always call Hindustan, Hindustan, then you are supporting some people who want to name this nation Hindu Rashtra. Remember, Hindustan is nothing but equivalent of Hindu Rashtra. Hindustan. You already recognize then Hindu Rashtra, don't blame others. Constitution never says anything about Hindustan. Why do you say Is this not your fault? You are cutting your legs yourself. You are bad naming yourself, and then you say, save Constitution. How can you say save Constitution when you yourself are not saving it even in name? So remember, do not use term Hindustan. This is Arabic power, and this is power from Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey, Russia, and those Eurasian who intruded to this nation and named it as such. If you want to touch their feet, then I cannot say anything. I will never call it Hindustan because this is my own insult. I condemn myself if I use this term. Well, my duty is to advise you. It's up to you what you say or not saying. I have seen very qualified people also abusing this term, and from all parties, not from one party. And I do not like it. I condemn all those. They are very big advocates as well, law luminaries, and they use this term. Well, they have to understand. Question is how we have to make this country further, how we have to abolish all those fools who are in politics and who do not understand this nation. Our nation cannot depend upon other nations. Our nation has to take its own responsibility. Our education was very nice. Our profession was very nice. We have every enriched power with us. But if you destroy that power, if you destroy education, if you destroy health, if you keep education out of reach of common people, of lowest section of society, if you keep our health out of reach of every poor, then you cannot move with nation. If you just want to help those who are having monies, who are haves, then you are not helping this nation. Today, all leaders are having different mentality. Our leaders, most of them are with people who have money. Those are only speak for poor but never work for poor. Wealth of this country is owned by all citizens, not by only poor or rich. All poor have priority to be owned first. Poor have right to use this money. Haves have second right. Unprioritized right. Poor has first right on wealth of this nation. That must be considered in its entirety. We have to solve problems ourselves. In time coming, I am going to see many changes in our structures of legislation. I am expecting major destructive changes because now who are sitting in power have failed to deliver what they were expected to do. They are playing in hands of industrialists. They are playing in hands of haves, and people are watching as if nothing is happening. I am not talking of what's happening around, but I am happy what's happening around because people are rising. But this rising should remain rising. I am expecting something else. This rising may soon turn to uprising, and that is where problem lies in. People should know this, that do not have full trust in whatever government, whatever legislature they have installed in, because it's our fault that we have been successful to install 45% criminal background lawmakers in our nation. This status is not acceptable, but it is our mistake. We caused it ourselves. We forgot that some political parties can do it. We forgot that we forgot that we should not trust these political parties. But we trusted and we lost. We had opportunity to examine, to investigate, to screen our MPs to be elected, but we did not do that. That is our fault. हमने गलती की है. हम भारत के लोग जिन्होंने इस संविधान की जिम्मेदारी ली, जिन्होंने इस संविधान को बनाया डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर साहब की सहायता से, जिन्होंने इस संविधान को लागू किया, उन लोगों ने बहुत बड़ी गलती की। लागू तो किया पर संविधान को पढ़ा नहीं, संविधान को समझा नहीं। शोर मचाना तो हमें आता है, लेकिन शोर कैसे मचाया जाए उसका डिजाइन हमें नहीं आता। हम शोर मचाते हैं बिना सोचे समझे, भावनाओं में बह के। और याद रखिए, भावनाएं किसी की नहीं होती। और ये नेता जिनको हम नेता कहते हैं, ये यही तो चाहते हैं कि हमारे देश की पब्लिक भावनाओं में बहती रहे और हम उसका फायदा उठाते रहें। वो भावनाएं किसी की भी हो सकती है, किसी भी तरह की हो सकती है। हम भावनाओं में बह जाते हैं क्योंकि हम पब्लिक हैं, हम भेड़े हैं, हम बकरियां हैं। हम वैसे ही चल देते हैं जिधर कोई चला देता है। हम ये भूल जाते हैं हमें कोई क्यों चलाएगा, अपने आप को चलाएगा चलाना चाहे तो। पर हमको इसलिए चलाते हैं कि उनको अपनी सीटों को बैठना है, उनको प्यार करना है। यही हमारा देश की एक प्रॉब्लम है, समस्या है कि हम उन लोगों की बातों में आ जाते हैं जो कभी इस देश के हुए नहीं, उन्होंने कभी इस देश के बारे में सोचा नहीं, जिनका इस देश की स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में कोई योगदान नहीं, उनकी बातों में हम आ गए। हम भूल गए कि इन्होंने जब स्वतंत्रता के लिए कुछ नहीं किया तो ये हमारे लिए क्या करेंगे, क्या करेंगे ये हमारे लिए, जिन्होंने देश के लिए कुछ नहीं किया। ये बात हमारे दिमाग में नहीं आई। कुछ लोगों के दिमाग में आई होगी, पर 2-3% लोगों से क्या होता है। देश की जनता एक बहकावे में आ गई। लालच बुरी भला है, सब जानते हैं। ऐसे ऐसे लालच दिए गए कि आप बहकावे में आ गए। ऐसे ऐसे बातें की गई कि पिछले वाले सब डकैत थे, वो सब डकैत थे जो पहले थे। ये सत्यवादी हरिश्चंद्र आए हैं, ये हमारे लिए सौपन लाए हैं, सोने की दुनिया लाए हैं, और वास्तव में सोना ही दिया है, सुला दिया हमको। वो सत्तारूढ़ आज जो बैठे हैं वो कभी देश के हुए नहीं थे और अपने आप को सबसे बड़ा देशभक्त कहते हैं। वो राष्ट्रभक्ति उन्हीं को जानते हैं। राष्ट्रभक्ति वही जानते हैं, वही कर सकते हैं जिन्होंने राष्ट्र के लिए कभी कुछ किया नहीं, जो अंग्रेजों के गुलाम थे, जिन्होंने अंग्रेजों की गुलामी की, देश की स्वतंत्रता के खिलाफ। आज वो सत्ता में है और नशे में। हम इन लोगों को कब तक हजम करें, ये हमें देखना होगा। कब तक हजम करेंगे हम इनको, ऐसे लोगों को जो देश की समस्या जानते ही नहीं और पैदा किए जा रहे हैं। पर हम उन्हें क्यों खा रहे हैं, हम उनकी सेवाएं क्यों ले रहे हैं, ये बात का तो फैसला हमें करना चाहिए। पर कितने लोग जानते हैं, कितने लोग समझते हैं। देश में हाहाकार हो, देश में हर सेक्टर में हर तरफ प्रॉब्लम्स ही प्रॉब्लम्स हो, कोई कंट्रोल ना हो, पुलिस पब्लिक को पब्लिक ना समझती हो, देश में गरीबी हो, देश में बहुत अमीरी भी हो, देश में नौकरियां ना हो, किसान के लिए खेती ना हो, दुकानदार परेशान हो, नौकरी वाले लोग परेशान हो, और आपको कोई चिंता ना हो देश के नेताओं को, देश के लॉ मेकर्स को, देश के संस्थानों को, उसमें चाहे न्यायालय आए, कार्यकारी आए, कोई भी आए, जिसे कोई चिंता ना हो कि पब्लिक का क्या हो रहा है। अपने अपनी पावर के नशे में चूर चकनाचूर, कोई चिंता ना हो। तो ऐसे लोगों को हम क्यों सहें। हमने ऐसी कौन सी गुलामी की है उनकी कि हम उनको सह जाएं। ये प्रश्न तो आपको खुद सोचना है, इसका उत्तर भी खुद ढूंढना है। अगर आप इतना नहीं कर सकते तो आपको डूब मरना चाहिए। किसकी इंतजार कर रहे हैं आप, यदा यदा की, यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य, उस गाने की जिसमें कृष्ण ने कहा था जब भी पाप का घड़ा भर जाएगा तो मैं आऊंगा पापियों का नाश करने के लिए, साधुओं को सहायता देने के लिए और पाप संस्थानों को दोबारा सही करने के लिए। किसका इंतजार कर रहे हैं आप। कृष्ण आप में ही आया हुआ है, उसको जगाइए। कृष्ण सब में है, वो अलग से नहीं आएगा, कभी नहीं आएगा। वो तो आपके मनों में है, आपके माइंड में है, आप उसको निकालिए बाहर। और जो कंस बैठा है, जो रावण बैठा है, खत्म कीजिए उसको गद्दी से उतारिए। आपकी समस्याओं का आधार हो जाएगा। समस्या कब उत्पन्न होगी, किसको बिठाना है उस गद्दी पे, वो भी सोचना आपको है। आप किसी व्यक्ति को मत बिठाइए, कभी मत बिठाइए। सोचिए भी नहीं कि इस गद्दी पे कौन बैठेगा, क्योंकि इस गद्दी पे जिसको बैठना हो वो अपने आप आ जाएगा। आपको तो सिर्फ सोचना इतना है कि आप वोट के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, आपको ये सोचना है। और जब आप ये सोच लेंगे कि वोट को हमने कैसे देना है, कैसे चुनना है व्यक्ति को, तो आपकी प्रॉब्लम अपने आप ही समाप्त हो जाएगी। आप इस फार्मूले को, सूत्र को समझते नहीं है और 70 साल आपने ऐसे ही निकाल दिए। कभी इसका चेहरा देख लेते हैं, बनाना है प्रधानमंत्री, कभी उसका चेहरा बनाना है, तो चेहरा आपका है ही नहीं। आप जबरदस्ती अपने आप को कहते हैं कि हमने इसको चुनना है, जिसको आप जानते नहीं उसको आप चुन लेते हैं, और जिसको आपको चुनना चाहिए उसको ढूंढते तक नहीं आप। बस यही मार खा गया देश, यही मार खा गया। संविधान में कोई गलती नहीं, हमने जो संविधान बनाया कोई त्रुटि नहीं। त्रुटि हमारे मस्तिष्क में है, त्रुटि हमारी आंखों में है, त्रुटि हमारी सोच में है। इस सोच को जगाओ। विद्या का क्या मतलब होता है? विद्या एक दिया है, दया है, हमको उसका प्रयोग करना है, चाहे हम पढ़े लिखे हों या ना हो। हम वोट का मतलब तो समझते हैं, लेकिन गलत समझते हैं। आप जो समझते हैं कि वोट से हम सरकार चेंज कर देंगे, नहीं, आप नहीं कर सकते। वोट से हम प्रधानमंत्री बना देंगे, नहीं, आप नहीं बना सकते। वोट से मुख्यमंत्री बना देंगे, नहीं, आप नहीं बना सकते। ये बातें आपको पहले समझनी चाहिए। आप इतना दूर क्यों जाना चाहते हैं जहां आप जा नहीं सकते? आप वहां तक क्यों नहीं जाते जहां आपको जाने से गाड़ी मिलेगी, उस स्टेशन पे जहां से आपको ट्रेन मिलेगी, या उस एयरपोर्ट से जहां आपको जहाज मिलेगा? आप वहां तक ही क्यों नहीं जाते? आप उससे आगे क्यों जाना चाहते हैं? जहां से आपको सवारी मिल रही है आप वहां तक चाहिए, और आपकी सवारी वहां की रुक जाती है जहां वोट देते हैं। आप वोट के बारे में सोचिए। आप वोट क्या मतलब है, वोट आपका क्या करेगा? सिंपल सी बात है, वोट आपकी सहायता करेगा। आपको वोट बताएगा कि आपको क्या करना है, किसको चुनना है। इतना सा काम है। आप पीएम को चुनना चाहते हैं, सीएम को चुनना चाहते हैं, बिना मतलब आपकी शक्ति है नहीं, आप चुनना चाहते हैं। अरे आप अपने आप को चुने, अपने को समझें पहले कि मेरे लिए कौन जाने वाला है। आप ये तक नहीं देखते कि आपके एरिया से किस व्यक्ति के नाम लिखे हैं, वो व्यक्ति है कौन, वो किस खेत की मूली है, या कुछ है भी कि नहीं है, वो चोर है, डकैत है, लुच्चा है, लफंगा है, स्मगलर है, क्रिमिनल है, कौन है वो क्या करता है, उसकी फैमिली क्या है, क्या वो आपके मतलब का है भी कि नहीं है। बस इस पार्टी को दूंगा मैं, इस पार्टी को दूंगा। पागल हो गए सारे, ना पार्टी आपकी ना मेरी। आप क्यों सोच रहे हैं पार्टी के बारे में? मैं इसको पीएम बनाऊंगा, मैं उसको पीएम बनाऊंगा। अरे क्यों बनाएंगे आप उसको पीएम? उसमें ऐसा क्या है? आपने कभी नहीं सोचा, जबकि आपको सोचना चाहिए। पहली बात तो आप पीएम बना नहीं सकते, सरकार आप बना नहीं सकते, बेकार क्यों समय खराब करते हैं? जिसको आपको बनाना है उसके बारे में आप जानते तक नहीं। यही बस गड़बड़ है, यही एक प्रॉब्लम है। प्रतिनिधि आपने अपना चुनना है, आप चुन रहे हैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर को। इससे बड़ी बेवकूफी और क्या होगी? ये बात लोगों की समझ नहीं आती। मैं थक गया बता के। इतनी सी बात कि आपका न्याय क्या कहता। आप भी एक न्याय कर रहे हैं उस टाइम, आप वोट के जज हैं। आप अपना वोट देने का मतलब आप फैसला करके दे रहे हैं कि मैं अपना मत का अधिकार इस व्यक्ति को दे रहा हूं। इस बात को अच्छी तरह समझ लेना चाहिए, जो हमारी बुद्धि में नहीं आता है। चाहे हम पढ़े लिखे कितने भी हों, लेकिन इस बात पे हम अनपढ़ हैं। जिसको हमें चुनना है उसके बारे में ना सोच के, जिसको नहीं चुनना है हम उस पर दिन रात भिड़ जाते हैं एक दूसरे से। और ये हमारे जर्नलिस्ट, टीवी वाले, अखबार वाले, इनकी तो बात ही छोड़ो। पता नहीं कौन सी दुनिया में रहते हैं, कौन सी दुनिया से आए हैं, इस देश के तो नहीं है, पक्की बात। हमारे चाहे पेपर वाले हों, टेलीविजन वाले हों या यूट्यूब चैनल वाले हों, इस देश से तो वो नहीं ताल्लुक रखते, कोई ताल्लुक नहीं रखते। उनका ताल्लुक काल्पनिक दुनिया से है, काल्पनिक दुनिया से। मुझे नहीं पता उनकी दुनिया कौन सी है, और पढ़ के भी आए हैं या शराब पी पी के पास करके आए हैं, या मार्कशीट अपने पेपर के अंदर पैसे रख के देते थे कि हम पास हो जाएं। वही जानते हैं वास्तविकता क्या है। इतना नहीं समझते कि संविधान को खोल के पढ़ नहीं सकते, तो उनसे क्या मैं आशा रखूं। एक संविधान के 2-3 कुछ आर्टिकल आपको पढ़े, आपका काम हो सकता है। संविधान में एक पब्लिक के लिए 10 से ज्यादा आर्टिकल नहीं है। पहला आर्टिकल कहता है कि आर्टिकल 1 है जिसका नाम है भारत, और इंडिया हमारे देश का नाम है। इसके बाद दूसरे आर्टिकल आते हैं जिस नागरिकता देते हैं, जैसे 5 से लेकर 10 तक आप कह सकते हैं कुछ आर्टिकल हैं जो नागरिकता कैसे दी जाती है। उसके बाद थोड़ा आगे जाएंगे तो आपको मिलेंगे 51A आर्टिकल, जिसमें कहा कि आपकी ड्यूटीज क्या है। और उससे पहले कुछ आर्टिकल है फंडामेंटल राइट्स के, जो भी आपको बताते हैं कि आपको फ्रीडम है इस चीज की, आपको ये कर सकते हैं, आप काम क्या करें ना करें, आपके मतलब आप पढ़ाई करें ना करें, वो शक्तियां आपके पास है। 51 में आपकी ड्यूटीज आपको डिफाइन की गई। संविधान को आपको मानना है, देश को आपको मानना है, हर चीज का मान सम्मान करना है, ये करना है, वो बहुत कुछ दिया हुआ उसमें। विज्ञान को आगे बढ़ाना है, ज्ञान को आगे बढ़ाना है। और उसके बाद थोड़ा आप जाएंगे, आर्टिकल आता है 74-74, उसमें लिखा है कि प्रधानमंत्री और काउंसिल क्या है। काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स है, वही प्रधानमंत्री उसका सर है, बाकी बॉडी है, और राष्ट्रपति प्रधानमंत्री को अपॉइंट करते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री कुछ नहीं है। इस बात को हम समझते नहीं है, पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ पहुंच जाते हैं। और अगर थोड़ा आप आगे जाएंगे तो आपको मिलेगा आर्टिकल 81 जिसमें लिखा है कि आपको लोकसभा का चुनाव करना है, आपको लोकसभा के सदस्यों को चुनना है, इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है काम आपका। इतनी सी बात आपने समझते, मेरे को तो समझ नहीं आती बात। इतने से आर्टिकल क्यों नहीं पढ़ सकते आप। और उसके बाद लिखा है यूनियन लिस्ट है, ये इसके उसमें लग जाएंगे, ये यूनियन लिस्ट है, ये स्टेट लिस्ट है, ये कॉन्कर लिस्ट है। उसमें बताया गया कि किस किस का क्या काम है, लोकसभा क्या करेगी, स्टेट आप क्या करेगी, किस तरह के नियम कानून बना सकते हैं दोनों के दोनों। और कॉन्कर लिस्ट है, इसमें दोनों बना सकते हैं, स्टेट लिस्ट में स्टेट के लिए बनेंगे और यूनियन लिस्ट में यूनियन के लिए बनेंगे। ये बातें समझ नहीं आती आपको। और थोड़ा आगे जाएंगे तो म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज क्या कर सकती है, उसमें लिखा है। पंचायत क्या कर सकते हैं, उसमें लिखा है। बाकी आपका कोई मतलब इतना ज्यादा नहीं है। जुडिशरी क्या करेगी, जुडिशरी जाने। सरकार क्या करेगी, सरकार जाने। पार्लियामेंट के प्रोसेस क्या करेंगे, पार्लियामेंट जाने। हमें उससे डायरेक्ट लिंक नहीं है। हमें डायरेक्ट लिंक है फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज से, हमें डायरेक्ट लिंक है हमारी जो ड्यूटीज हैं, हमारे जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स हैं उससे। हमें लिंक है कि देश की सरकार कौन सी है, बस इतना जानना काफी है। हम बनाते नहीं हैं, हमारे प्रतिनिधि बनाते हैं, इस बात को समझ लें। हमारा अधिकार चुनना है हमारे प्रतिनिधि को, वो हम चुनते नहीं। हम अननेसेसरी कल्पना की दुनिया में रह के मैंने प्रधानमंत्री बना दिया, मैंने चीफ मिनिस्टर बना दिया, जबकि हम कुछ भी तो नहीं कर सकते। इसलिए सी बात हमारी समझ नहीं आती। हम ये नहीं जानते कि इनके काम के हम पूछते तक नहीं है। हमारा प्रतिनिधि हमें चुनना है तो हमारा हक बनता है पूछने का, भाई तुम्हें आता क्या बता तो दो। उस बेचारे को तो आता ही कुछ नहीं, बताएगा क्या वो। हम पूछते भी नहीं, वो आता भी नहीं है। तो ये चीजें सुधारिए। आपको इनसे ज्यादा जानने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। मत चक्कर पड़िए सिटीजनशिप के। इलेक्शन के लॉ जो 325 से 327 साफ साफ कहते हैं कि वोटर लिस्ट में उसी का नाम होता है जो भारत का नागरिक होता है। आपका वोटर लिस्ट में नाम है तो कौन होता है प्रधानमंत्री और कौन होता है कोई भी कहने वाला है देश का। यहाँ तक कि मैं न्यायालय की बात भी नहीं मानूंगा, क्योंकि संविधान में लिखा है कि मैं वोटर हूं और मैं भारत का नागरिक हूं। किसी के पूछने की आवश्यकता नहीं है मुझको, क्योंकि न्यायालय भी संविधान से ऊपर नहीं है। इतनी सी बात हमको समझना चाहिए अगर हमको देश को बचाना है, संविधान को बचाना है। नहीं तो अंग्रेजों की गुलामी के लिए तैयार रह जाइए, क्योंकि मोदी अंग्रेज बन जाएगा और आपसे गुलाम रहना हमेशा। आपको गुलाम रहना है, आपको बधाई। आपको नहीं रहना है, आपको बधाई। अब मैं इससे क्या बोलूं। अब मैं कहूंगा आज मैं इतनी बात करूंगा, ज्यादा बात नहीं करूंगा। आप सबको धन्यवाद। सोचिए सोचिए सोचिए, सोचना आपका काम है। राष्ट्रगान गाने का फायदा तभी है जब राष्ट्र के बारे में सोचें। वंदे मातरम कहने का फायदा तभी जब माता को माता समझे। हमारी माता संविधान है, हमारी माता प्रियम्बल है, हमारी भारत माता भारत देश का संविधान है। इसको बचाइए तो भारत माता स्वयं बच जाएगी। हमारे देश के संविधान को समझिए तो आपका कल्याण हो जाएगा। ज्यादा बातें ना करिए, कोई फायदा नहीं है। कोई कृष्ण नहीं आने वाला, कोई राम नहीं आने वाला, सब है यहाँ पे, सब है। इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ जय भारत। धन्यवाद आप सबका सुनने के लिए।